Hi there, my name is Ross, and today I'm going to be cooking something very strange. So let's get started. So for context, I am in a church group, and I asked everyone in the group to give me one ingredient. Here they are. I'll show you them now. We have chicken, potatoes, bacon, scallions, jalapeno, Spam, chocolate chips, and this is puff pastry, which I added. A lot of puff pastry. There are some other ingredients I forgot to show you, but we'll do that in a bit. So first things first, I'm cutting off all the fat on the chicken thighs. I got chicken thighs because they cook slower. These are skin on, bone in chicken thighs. They take the longest. I suppose I should tell you what I'm trying to make here. The idea is to make a dessert-themed chicken Wellington. So such as a beef Wellington, this one is chicken, obviously. However, with the chocolate chips, I have to make something. So I've decided to try a dessert Wellington. And at this point, I have no idea whether this is going to work or not. But you're seeing the video, so I guess it did. So now the chicken is all defatted. I'm going to cook it now in the oven. But first, you get to watch me struggle to fold a towel. There we go. Okay, so first thing is I'm going to sear off the skin on the chicken. So now I'm going to prep a second pan so that I will be able to baste the chicken. So I'll get out the pan here, and in the process, throw my phone on the ground. Here you can see my very high-tech tripod. You can see we have very high-budget organization going on here. I know you guys are jealous. Anyway, here are some of the herbs I'm going to use to baste the chicken. After it's seared off, of course. Not quite there yet. So now I'm transferring the chicken over to the basting pan so that I can sear and baste all at the same time. Basting is an important step because that is where much of the flavor comes from that will be inside of the chicken Wellington. Okay, here you can see all the butter basting action going on. Now that those are seared and basted, not cooked all the way through, just to start and give it a little bit of flavor, they will come out of the pan to rest and cool down so that later they can be finished in the oven. Here they are, all of them, and they will go in the fridge for a little while. Next up, I have to make the, air quotes, duxelle, which will go inside of the Wellington. Duxelle is traditionally mushrooms minced up and cooked with many seasonings and white wine. However, I am not using mushrooms for this. I will be using shallot, asparagus, and Spam. So first I'm blending the asparagus and shallot. Next up, then I must blend the spam. Never tried to cook with this before. Not really sure what I'm doing, if that isn't clear. That does not smell good. Jalapeno. No seeds in the jalapeno. Small dice all the jalapeno. Give that a little blend as well. It's important that all these ingredients are small because they are a thin layer in between the chicken and the bacon, or traditionally prosciutto. But here I'm realizing that there isn't enough Spam, which is something I never thought I would say, so I'm adding more of that. And then I'll begin the cooking with white wine, salt, mustard powder, celery seeds, paprika, garlic powder, and MSG. If you don't know what MSG is, you're missing out. That stuff is incredible. Also, a little bit of cayenne pepper goes in there, and then that cooks for a very long time until it's pretty mush. That wasn't very good. This ought to fix it. That was just salt and more white wine. So now that the chicken is cooled, I'm going to remove all of the bones from them. And add some light brown sugar because, once again, dessert chicken Wellington. And this is agave. It's a very good sugar replacement. It's kind of similar to honey, but much thinner. Garlic powder. A lot of garlic powder. Black pepper. Whole nutmeg. Not the pre-ground crap, because that stuff goes stale incredibly quickly. Whole nutmeg will stay good longer than I will live. So now I'm just mixing all of this up. It will have to marinate in the fridge for quite a while, at least overnight. I'm not really sure. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. Now that goes in the fridge, and I will be back tomorrow. Hey, it's tomorrow. So all of those come out of the fridge, and today we are going to wrap them, which means I first have to slice up the bacon that I bought. I bought whole unsliced bacon so that hopefully I could get larger pieces in order to wrap the Wellingtons more evenly and thinner than typical bacon is. So here I'm cutting off the majority of the fat, getting it real nice and ready to slice. beautiful piece of pork belly. Shout out my dad for buying this meat slicer. But anyway, here we go. Nice thin slice of very wide bacon. Super easy to wrap and cover the chicken with. And there we go. Lots of bacon. Okay, so first step in wrapping the Wellingtons, I have to tightly wrap the chicken in the bacon and duxelle, the Spam asparagus mix. And the reason that we wrap it in plastic is so that I can put it in the fridge afterwards and it will solidify to the chicken, hopefully keeping it tighter so that when I wrap it around with pastry, it won't fall apart as easily. And there we go. Nice and tightly wrapped. Left to sit and solidify, hopefully. And there we go. Next up, I need a pot of boiling water because I'm going to melt the chocolate. So move you closer and throw you on the ground. But boom, there's some boiling water and a bowl on top. I think this is called a double boiler. I don't know. I just know when I was a kid, I put chocolate in the microwave and I almost set everything on fire. So, this is how we do that now. Might as well throw in the whole thing, right? Okay, now that's nice and melted. Then I'll throw in a little seasoning, just some salt. And MSG, because MSG goes on everything. That's not as bad as I thought it'd be. Okay, now I need the pastry. Here's my Pillsbury Doughboy dough sheet. And some gluten-free pastry dough for the strange people in the group who are gluten-free. So here's some gluten-free flour. I decided to do the gluten-free one first to not cross-contaminate anything. But here is the very strange looking pastry dough. Even though it sat in the fridge for like 2 days, it's still kind of firm. Here's where I forget to put the chocolate. There we go. So the chocolate goes in between the bacon and the puff pastry, because I don't know what else to do with it. And here you can see the reason why people don't use gluten-free stuff more often. It's brittle. Also because it's still frozen. But so I'll let that sit for a while. And now it is more dough-like. Some water to smooth out the edges, which I found for the gluten-free one doesn't work. So I'm just going to smack it with my finger for a little while. And there we go. A gluten-free Wellington for the gluten-free weirdos. The hardest part with the gluten-free stuff is that it's so crumbly because it, well, has no gluten. So there's no elasticity to it. I can't stretch it or anything. I just have to mold it together like clay. And there we go. 3 gluten-free Wellingtons. All 3 of them perfectly the same size. Not really. Okay, so next up is the regular flour, the good stuff, and the Pillsbury Doughboy dough sheet. And just for context, to reinforce the point that I was making earlier about the crumbly Wellingtons, it took me 30 minutes to make those 3 gluten-free Wellingtons. And in 15 minutes, I made 7 regular Wellingtons. Gluten-free people, that is how you know that I love you. And there we go. So those are the finished Wellingtons. You don't need to look at that end of the counter. Not great. But they are ready to go. And so the next day, which is here, I am just getting everything ready. The only thing I have to do left is use the remaining ingredients to make a side, a potato and tomato hash. And then the Wellingtons just have to cook. So here's the process of making the hash. So there's the tomato. Now for the potato. I went with multicolored fingerling potatoes because I thought they would look nicer. Dice those up real small. Why, hello there. Just in case you were wondering, this video is not sped up. I am just actually this fast. So after I finish this hash, you'll see I'll throw it in the oven and then wrap it up, because everything else I will have to do at my friend's house right before the church group. So there won't be much recording of those events. Here's some garlic that I'm putting in as well. But anyway, you will see the finished product, and I will also have a taste tester. My friend Adam, here he is. Shout out, bro. But anyway, those are all the updates I have. So for now, just enjoy me cutting some stuff. Hello.
Did I ruin your video?
No. What have you done with my white pepper?
White pepper.
So now it just gets a touch more oil. And throw that baby in the oven at 450. For how long, you ask? Who cares? Now a bit of garnish using dried peppers, dried chili peppers, some more scallions, and shallot. Maybe. Okay, so I'm using white onion, like I said, scallions, and dried chili peppers. That was always the plan. Again, record-breaking speed. Not sped up at all. Put this guy on a cooking show. Okay, now it is off to the church group. Fast forward to boom. Here they are, out the oven.
Sure you invited the girls?
And now the taste test.
This is the craziest looking Wellington I've ever seen in my life. Amazing. So the crust is gluten free? I guess the whole thing.
Why is that so good?
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Dude, this slaps. Everything about this should be gross.
Let's go.